The closer you get to the timing of your plan, the more realistic that plan actually is. Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley Podcast. Today I'm talking about how cruising plans are a lot like weather forecasts, as in, don't count on it until it's actually happening. Today's episode of the Boat Galley Podcast is sponsored by Julie Bradley, best-selling author of 2 sailing classics, Escape from the Ordinary and Crossing Pirate Waters. Warning, these books are really hard to put down. Join Glenn and Julie for off-the-beaten-path adventures in extraordinary places. Claw through Force 10 storms with them. Hold your breath through pirate-infested parts of the Mideast. Julie's witty, vibrant writing takes you along every twist and turn. At times, you'll wish you were there, and others, you will be really glad you weren't. These books take you along for the trip of a lifetime. Find both Escape from the Ordinary and Crossing Pirate Waters on Amazon. Highly recommended. If you're like me, you look at the weather report and look for the 10-day forecast. I look out and I think, oh gosh, this time in 10 days, the weather's going to be X. And imagine, to my surprise, as the time gets closer to that first 10 day, gee, things change. What looked like it was going to be 5 inches of snow turns out to be sunny. Or what looked like it was going to be sunny when you're planning ahead for the next weekend, you get a little bit closer and the Friday before you were going to go spend this great weekend at the boat, turns out it's going to be dumping rain and 50 degrees all weekend. Yuck. That's the thing. Cruising plans, kind of like getting ready to go to the boat for the weekend, they are great to be flexible and big long-term, wonderful, and then the closer you get, the more detailed you can dial in that particular plan. Right now, we're talking loosely about heading towards Maine for the summer. Does this mean that we know where we're going to be on the 4th of July? Nope. Does this mean that we know we're going to be leaving Maine by Labor Day weekend? Nope. We have our list that gets added to and shifted and morphed all the time of anchorages that people have told us are wonderful to try and you don't miss this particular place. We started making the list of these places to go based on cool little towns that we'd like to wander around. Well, right now in February of 2021, the idea of wandering around a town gives me the heebie-jeebies. I want to go someplace that has beautiful scenery where I can relax and maybe learn a little bit about bird watching, where I could go and wander streets perhaps of small towns where there aren't a million people. I'm not looking for the biggest grocery store, but I might be looking for someplace that does curbside pickup, and I'm definitely going to take a lot of groceries with me so I don't have to stock up as many places as I might have before. And this might change entirely by the time we actually put the boat in the water and start cruising. Who knows? We may have so many things to work on as we're going along that we find ourselves needing to go from best place to buy boat parts. I hope that's not the truth. I hope that we don't have to do that, because certainly we're working pretty hard to not have that be our reality, but there's a reason that we're not leaving the country right off the bat. We know there's going to be some growing pains, even though we've been through this life before. Does this not knowing what we're doing right now bother us? Absolutely not in the slightest. There's a saying that talks about how sailors and schedules don't mix. And we're pretty firm believers in that. I know the last time we went cruising, when we took the kids to the Bahamas, we had planned to meet family in the Abacos for Christmas. Well, we got over to the Bahamas for Thanksgiving, and we tooled around the northern part of the Abacos, and we got a weather window to get ourselves down to Hopetown at least 10 days before Christmas. 10 days, actually, before our friends and family were coming in. We could have taken a lot more time and cruised around lots of different places, but we said we know that people are going to be coming in 10 days. Let's get there and not have to worry about it. That's much more our idea of sticking to a schedule, and I've got air quotes going even as I'm talking about this. But looking that far out in advance, it's really hard to tell where you're going to be if you want to make it the very last minute sort of a thing. It's like a weather forecast. You look and you get an idea of what you hope the weather might look like it could possibly be, and then as you get closer, things become more and more crystal clear. So, cruising plans for us are an awful lot like long-term weather forecasts. We've got an idea, and we know that as we get closer, we're going to fine-tune it into whatever that reality is. And here's hoping that there are more sunny weekends than those gross, cold, rainy ones. But if you have cold, gross, rainy ones, maybe you've got something else that you can plan to do in the meantime. The only thing that I know for certain is that we're going cruising. And when we share an anchorage somewhere, let's raise a glass and toast to each other and the way we were able to get there. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. These episodes come out twice a week, every week, with tips and ideas for you to help in your investigation of this cruising lifestyle or as you're out there doing it. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this helpful, useful, or even vaguely entertaining. We'll talk to you soon.